Guidance is internal. Ignition sequence starts. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Permission to board. Permission to come aboard. Permission to board. Permission to bring me aboard. Permission to come aboard.
Welcome to the Permission Granted podcast. Here's DA.
All right, welcome back to the freshest edition of the Permission Granted podcast, everybody. Thanks for being with us. Of course, DA with you, and this is all off of the air stuff that you can catch. Some of it on the air, but a lot of it off of the air. And coming up later on, Mraz will join me. And I'm really excited about our guest coming up here today. Before we get to that, a little reminder, this is available, as is all of our shows, by going to iTunes. Just simply search The DA Show, CBS Sports. Also on SoundCloud, soundcloud.com. Just simply type in the same thing. We post these on Facebook and on YouTube as well. That's facebook.com/The DA Show and youtube.com/The DA Show. So our next guest is just a superstar in the sports media biz and the media biz, and her and I used to work together. Kristine Leahy was formerly the in-arena announcer, host, etc. for the Boston Celtics. And when I was working in Boston at 98.5 The Sports Hub, we knew one another from having worked together, because she then ended up at Fox Boston doing news anchoring, and they would invite me to do stuff on the show. So we did a lot of segments together at Fox when I did some TV work for them. And then at almost the same exact time, we both left. I took a job here at CBS Sports Radio in New York within the CBS family. And Kristine actually went to CBS as well, but went to L.A. So a huge market jump, was in L.A. and doing sports for CBS Los Angeles. So that really put her on the map, because then she ended up doing sideline reporting for the CBS Sports Network, for Turner as well. You've seen her on the sidelines of the NCAA tournament. Just tremendous. And now she is the host of American Ninja Warrior, which airs on Monday nights on NBC. I mean, this is a big deal, network show, and she's working with some great people over there, and it's a really cool show. So I was excited to get Kristine here on the show to talk to her about this, not only because the show is really cool itself, American Ninja Warrior, and it's in the middle of the season, but because of just how much things have changed for her in such a short amount of time. We both left Boston. She left a little earlier than me, I believe. So I left at the end of the beginning of 2013. She left in 2012. But things have changed so dramatically for her, and she's just a superstar. So I'm glad to have her here on the show. And Kristine Leahy joins us now. Kristine, how are you?
Good. I'm so happy to be talking to you.
This is cool. When's the last time that we spoke? I guess I left Boston, but probably right around the same time that you were prepping to leave. I left at the beginning of 2013. When did you end up heading out to L.A.?
I left in 2012.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, right before you, and I think right after I left, you left a couple of weeks later. We just had to be together, essentially, was the thing, and so once I left, it was like, nah, can't happen anymore.
I was like, once Kristine was out the door, I've got to forge my own path now.
Hey, you did pretty well for yourself.
Well, thanks, you too. And so you were in L.A. and you were doing sports in L.A. and you had a huge following there. And then how did this come up with American Ninja Warrior?
So it's so funny. I apparently the guy from NBC, my boss now, his name's Brandon Reig. He heads up like America's Got Talent and our show. He was looking for some female sports talent for this role, and he kind of believes, like, when you do sports, you know how you just can talk. And he was looking for talent like that. So he was at the dinner with his friends and was asking if they had seen anybody that they like, any females in sports, and they had seen me on CBS here. And so he brought me in for a meeting, and it kind of just went from there. I didn't really think much of it, and then I got a call, and they said, would you be interested in hosting? And I was really excited about it because, honestly, this was a show that I had watched in the summer. They have marathons of it on Esquire. It's just a good show to put on in the summer when you're not really worried about anything you'd be eating, and you can
absolutely,
tune in and out.
Yeah, a little wallpaper TV, yeah.
Yeah, so I remember watching it and thinking, hey, that's a show that I could do. I could host this. So I was really excited about it.
It's awesome because you ended up going out to L.A. and you were doing sports for CBS, then the Turner Sports family as well. You were doing NCAA college basketball. You were on sidelines. You did leadoff as well for CBS Sports Network. So you were doing all these sports things. And then this is kind of sports, but kind of pop culture and kind of showbiz. So how is that transition?
It's been really interesting. You're right. There's a huge difference actually, and this is kind of entertainment and pop and showbiz. But there is that aspect of athletes, and that was important to me because I don't think that I could ever go fully into entertainment. But this is kind of a nice midway kind of thing, and I wanted to get my foot into it and see. And it's different. It's reality television, but of course, we want it to be good television, and it's pre-taped, and there are storylines that we look at. So it is different. The biggest difference I'll say is that I can redo an interview, which is like the worst thing and the best thing. Because, when I'm doing sidelines, you have one shot. And if that coach doesn't like your question, he gives you a mean face or doesn't like your question, that's it. That's all you get. But in this thing, I ask a question, or if we want to reword it, or if we want them to answer differently, you can retake it, which is sometimes great and sometimes it's bad because you just want that natural feeling that you have. But it's been interesting. And also not being able to kind of see what I'm doing right away. I have to wait months before I see the end result on TV. So people will text me on the East Coast like, oh, I just saw such and such happen. I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't know. I have to wait for the West Coast version.
So how long is the delay between when you guys tape and when it actually gets to air?
So it depends because we actually just finished shooting in Las Vegas. We shot the final. And we started shooting in March, the beginning. So what happens is, this is kind of a secret that this is what happens. There are different qualifying cities that we go to. And after the qualifying round is the city finals round, the next stage. So it appears when you're watching it on the show as if we go back, but we actually do it one night after the other.
Gotcha.
So when we shoot in March, we're shooting in Venice, right? So then probably 3 months later, you'll see the qualifying round. And then 6 weeks after that, you'll see the city finals round. So it varies. It could be 3 months. It could be 4 weeks. It just kind of depends. So
how different is it to go from, you were also doing in-arena stuff for the Boston Celtics, which has become a platform unto itself for all of these fast-rising sportscasters in the industry. But how different is it when you are going from covering like the Dodgers in Detroit to going to Venice to tape American Ninja Warrior? A little bit of a different road trip for you.
It's a lot of it different, but let's be clear. I mean, the cities that we were shooting American Ninja Warrior, we did Venice, California, not Italy, Houston, Kansas City, Pittsburgh, Orlando, and San Pedro. So they're kind of similar. They're all
not
major
that
sports
far off.
cities. No, it's just a difference in shooting, really. Because here's another secret: we shoot overnight. So I would wake up at like 3 p.m., go into hair and makeup because I need that, hair and makeup at like 4, and then we would stop shooting at 7 a.m. or whenever the sun came up. So that's the biggest difference.
Why were you guys taping overnight?
So when you watch the show, it's dark. We're doing it at night. But we actually have 100 people that first night, at least probably around 120, run the course. You only see, I think, 15 to 20 of them on the show, but there are actually 120 people that do it that night. So we need all the time throughout the night to do that.
Wow. I didn't realize that. Yeah, it's always dark when you guys are doing it. I didn't realize, though, that takes you. But I guess that makes sense. It's like filming movies or whatever. Those shoots go into the wee hours of the night. So you're alongside a former NFL player as well that a lot of our sports fans would know, Akbar Bajabiamila, which
good job.
Thank you. How long did it take you? How long? Well, everybody knows. How long did it take you to nail that?
So Matt and Akbar and I went to dinner together before we started shooting, and that was the first thing I wanted to learn. So he handed me his license with his last name spelled out, and he's like, "Just try." Yeah. And so I spent probably about 5 minutes nailing down the pronunciation. I finally got it, but wow.
The Akbar's not the tough part. It's the Baja, since it's spelled Gbaja, that really throws you off.
Yeah, and you know what? If you ever hear him do it, he does his last name. He's from Nigeria, or he's Nigerian, and he will do it in the Nigerian accent, and it's beautiful, amazing.
So, for those that haven't maybe watched the show, it's kind of like an obstacle course, and you guys, it's a 4-stage course, and it's kind of crazy, and you got to do a million different things. And it's very physical, and it's got all of these kind of different ways that you have to use either your upper body or your balance or your endurance. So it's kind of reality TV, but it's also a lot of athleticism, a lot of strength, and really a lot of like sports ability, isn't it?
Completely. And I've said this over and over, is that, so I've covered a lot of athletes, you know, the major 4 sports, and each sport kind of has their own skill set. These athletes that I work with, while it is reality television, I think that they are the most diverse athletes I've ever worked with, including professional athletes. I mean, these guys train just as much, if not more, as those guys. And you have to have incredible upper body strength, great balance, agility, and also their mental focus has to be insane. I mean, you're out there sometimes at 3 or 4 in the morning with a huge crowd around you. You have to go through an obstacle that you've never seen before. You get one shot, and all your training that you've done for an entire year could be over in 10 seconds, which is the craziest part about it. But these guys also do some of the craziest things in their training that I would love to see a football player or a baseball player even try to attempt. And some of them have, and they haven't made it that far.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we were at an event the other day where some of the ninjas came, and one of them does acro yoga. Have you ever heard of that?
No, what is that?
Acro yoga. It's like yoga where 2 people, or I think more, can do it. You kind of do poses with each other.
Ooh.
And one person will, like, lift. I'm going to post something on my Instagram later today. You will not believe it. But
Will you be doing the yoga, or you just be taking... Okay.
Yes. All right. I was terrified, but it's really cool where they can lift someone up in the air like it's nothing and do these amazing... Well, actually, they lifted Akbar. Which tells you a lot. Yeah. And what does he weigh? Like almost 300 pounds?
He's tall. I know he is tall, and he doesn't look like... he looks like he used to be playing. He doesn't look like a retired athlete, so that's pretty...
Oh, no. He's ripped. Goes to the gym every day. But the training that these guys do, it's just absolutely insane, and I am constantly in awe of what they're able to do. And also, I mean, there's definitely an inspiring aspect to the show. A lot of them have overcome huge obstacles in their lives to be able to get here. So we've had a woman who had stage 4 breast cancer, and she's like, you know what, I'm going to train for this. And the fact that she did, athletes are great, professional athletes, but this has given me a whole new respect for what athlete really means.
Yeah, no doubt about it. So you went from, you were a Chicago girl, and then you end up in Boston. You had gone to college in Boston. You worked your way up in Boston. You were working for the Celtics, and then you end up at Fox there. And then you go all the way across the country to L.A. Boston is such a different experience than L.A. Was it disconcerting because of how different everything is in L.A.? Sports, lifestyle, weather, culture, people, etc.
It was definitely an adjustment. I actually had always wanted to live in LA. Truthfully, I wanted to go to college in LA, but my parents wouldn't let me, and I'm thankful because I loved my time in Boston, and I wouldn't trade for the world. And I don't think I would be where I am today without my time in Boston. But LA is different. You know, in sports, it's there are big enough sports fans as Boston, but there's just so much other stuff that people can concentrate on. There's entertainment, there's actors. So when you're going out in Boston and you see David Ortiz, he's like the biggest celebrity Boston has, besides maybe Tom Brady. You come here and like Julia Roberts is sitting at the table next to you. So there's just more to do and more to pay attention to.
Yeah.
And I would say that, I mean, you know this, the fans in Boston are very, very educated and die hard about their sports, which I think sometimes skews negatively.
Oh, you think sometimes? You think sometimes Boston fans skew negative?
I'm trying to be nice here because I actually respect it. I mean, I think they know a lot about what they're talking about, and they critique people. Where in LA, it was kind of a breath of fresh air where everything is really positive, but that also comes to a fault. Like, for example, Kobe Bryant signing his huge contract really did not do the Lakers any favors as far as their roster goes and their future in the short term. But Lakers fans here just still think Kobe is the greatest thing in the world and deserved every penny, whereas if that happened in Boston, that would not be the same reaction. So it was nice to be able to kind of just enjoy sports for what they are and not have to worry about all the negative critiquing and, why did they do this and who should be fired. It was just about the sport, which is really nice.
Yeah. You had mentioned before that you wanted to transition into something that also had kind of a sports component, which American Ninja Warrior certainly does, an athletic component, a competitive component. Could you see yourself just doing whatever it is, showbiz, pop culture, or whatever is outside of sports, just other Hollywood stuff, or will athletics and competition always kind of be at the root of what you want to do?
I'm so glad you asked that because, to be completely honest, I wondered for a while, maybe this is what I want to do and kind of go more in this direction. But within 2 weeks, I missed sports so much. And it was actually heartbreaking for me to watch the NBA finals. NBA is my biggest passion, and it was so hard for me to watch. And the tournament, I did that last year, and it was the highlight of my entire career. So it was really hard to watch that and not be a part of it. And I realized then that I have to have that in my life in some way. I'm not sure what that's going to be, but it will be definitely a part of what I do going forward. I mean, eventually I would love to, do a morning show or a talk show or something like that, but I always want to keep some sort of sports in what I'm doing. Like Michael Strahan, I think, is an excellent example of what I would eventually like to do, but be a girl.
And and he's really been so good at it. It's been incredible for anybody in the business. I certainly thought that Michael Strahan was going to fail miserably at doing like a daily talk show. Obviously, he's charismatic, but he knew sports and he was a former athlete. We've just never seen anybody that comfortable do that. But boy, he's nailed it. I was just watching the other day going, wow, he has really nailed it. So I think it's interesting. Strahan, amongst others, but Strahan really showed that even somebody who's only sports, if you're really, really good at what you do, boy, it opened up, I think, a lot of people's eyes that sports people or a former athlete can do that thing and can do it really well.
Yeah, and it goes back to, when Brandon was looking for somebody for this show, he's had success in the past using sports people in sort of an entertainment aspect because we just talk. Like, we just talk. A lot of times we're not working the script.
A lot of talking.
You have to be ready to go with anything and bounce off whatever comes at you. So I think that translates really into any kind of form of television.
I know that you love hip hop. So what are you listening to right now for the kiddies?
Oh my gosh. You got me so excited. So I love, right now, Nicki Minaj, the Pink Print.
Okay.
Have you heard it?
No. Well, I mean, is this her brand new album?
Yeah.
Okay, no, I haven't heard this.
For a couple of months. But so I actually didn't like Nicki Minaj when she first came out.
Okay.
She had like the pink hair. It was crazy.
Yeah.
But she's got this new album. She kind of decided to go into more of like very natural. She's going to stick with her natural hair color, not do any of those crazy outfits anymore. And I think she just kind of changed her music. And this album that she has, the Pink Print, is insane. She sings and she raps, and her lyrics are amazing. And it's very relatable, oddly enough. But I love it, and I love that she's a female rapper that I really like.
Well, natural.
But I also love Drake.
You love Drake as well.
Yeah.
Okay. I was going to say natural is not a normal word to be using about Nicki because there's a lot of things that are artificial, I think, about Nicki. So that's an interesting adjective. I thought you were going to maybe mention Kendrick Lamar. For some reason, since you're out in L.A., I feel like you love Kendrick Lamar.
I do. And you know what's so cool, too, is these are the moments that I get super excited about. Like seeing athletes, as you know, it's like I never am starstruck by that.
Yeah.
But when you go to Laker games, and sometimes Clipper games now too, there are rappers sitting there, or
yeah,
the rappers producers, and so I've started to kind of learn that side of it too. So like Nick Young is actually cousins with Kendrick Lamar.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So yeah, fun fact. So sometimes the producers, Kendrick Lamar's producers, will come to games because Nick gave them sideline seats. So
right.
I introduced myself to Kendrick's producers and was talking to them, and I've met the game. I've actually kind of become friends with the game, which is probably like the coolest thing I can say.
That's kind of a mind-blowing sentence to utter.
I know, but it makes me so happy. You have no idea. So meeting those people, and Kendrick Lamar is awesome. I think he's great. And did you listen to his new album too? How to Pimp a Butterfly?
Yeah, I've heard some of it, not all of it. Seems pretty good.
It's very different. It's very it's funky. It's like a funk. You think you're listening to it in the 70s, honestly. But it's he just kind of did his own thing, which I think is really cool. It was definitely a risk. It's not a typical rap album, and he got a lot of critique for it. But I think it's pretty cool too. I think he's great. And Drake and Big Sean. Big Sean's got a little ways to go, but I think he's going to be great.
I love that you're friends with the game.
It's
I
honestly
really love
like
this.
I feel like I can die like a happy woman, sort of, because like that gives me such street cred. I think.
I would say that's the ultimate street
Yeah.
cred. And how
Do you
about?
remember? You got me so excited. Do you remember when? Who was it? It was Kendrick Lamar, and he released a diss track, right? Against it was like Jay-Z was on it. Everybody.
Yeah.
And
Crushed everybody.
So I'm going to sound like I'm trying to be cool here, but this is just really cool for me. So I texted the game, and I was like, "Hey, what did you think about Kendrick's diss track?"
Whoa!
And he wrote back. I know, right? And he wrote back. He was like, "If anybody comes back with a rebuttal, they're awful, because that guy, every word that he said was right. He's a great rapper. He's the next big thing."
Wow. How about that? You texting the game about diss tracks is essentially, as you said, that's the top of the mountain right there, Kristine.
It really is. Like, I mean, I think I've interviewed Tom Brady, I've interviewed Kobe Bryant, but texting the game really, that was the highlight of my life.
Well, check out American Ninja Warrior, which is on Mondays at 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 p.m. Central on NBC. And then how many more episodes until the end of the season?
I would have to count, but we just started. So the city finals just started on Monday.
Okay.
In Venice. So we have next. Hold on, I'm going to do a little counting here. Sorry. It was next we have Kansas City, then we have Houston, Orlando, Pittsburgh, and San Pedro. Rest for the city finals, and then we go to Las Vegas for the big competition. And I swear you will not want to miss what happens in Las Vegas.
All right, that is awesome. You can also go to NBC.com/American Ninja Warrior to check it out. All over Twitter as well. The best thing is to just follow Kristine on Twitter, because she gives you all the updates of where they are, how they're taping, the episodes coming up, little advanced stuff. So that's at Kristine Leahy. And use the hashtag American Ninja Warrior. You can see a ton of stuff about that. Go to her website as well, KristineLeahy.com, to get the latest on everything that she is doing. Kristine, it is so awesome to watch you do this and this new project. I'm just so thrilled for you. This is so cool. I've been keeping tracks of it and keeping tabs of it. And we got to connect again when this season is over to see what your next project is, because it's bigger and better, I'm sure. You're just the best. Thank you so much. I'm so proud of you, too. Look how far we've come from our days in Boston. Look at how far we've come. All right, I'll text you when the next diss track comes out, okay? Got it. I hope you do. Thank you. All right, thanks to Kristine Leahy for joining us here on the Permission Granted podcast. Very cool of her to drop on by. And Mraz joins me now. Mraz, I've been in for the Doug Gottlieb show all week, filling in with Jason Lockenfora. And so you have had a host of different hosts. Now, last week I was also in for Doug the last 2 days of the week. So this has now been more than a week you've been without me. I'm sorry, who am I speaking to? I'm DA. I'm the original host of the DA show. We've worked together for 2.5 years. Sparingly now. Sparingly indeed. This is what the summer brings, though, is that when the summer comes, everybody takes vacation, and so the big dogs take their vacay, and then the little dogs keep moving up to fill all the spaces. Yeah, I'll see you for the Chick-fil-A kickoff game. Maybe. Well, I am back on the regular shift next week, which is good. I haven't taken any of my vacation yet, though. That's going to come maybe late July, early August. We'll see. I've got to work around Doug. Unbelievable, the kind of life you're living here. Just leaving us in the dust. I tell you, Joe D's not happy with you either. Joe D just learns the show. Guy doesn't even remember anything now. He's forgetting everything? Yeah, and you skip the Trash Tuesday. You know, that's when you tell Doug, excuse me, you could fly to California, but you got to be back on Tuesday because I got to do Trash Tuesday. I have no hand there. I have no ability to tell them what to do, what not to do. I don't have that hand. A man with no hand is not a man at all. Exactly right, and I've got no hand to this relationship. When Doug is off, I have to jump. He says jump, I say how high. That's it. All right, well, hey, it is what it is, I guess. It is what it is. I missed Trash Tuesday because I actually had a good one.
Yeah, I had a good one too now, and I forgot it. So I got to start keeping notes. We might have to do a double trash Tuesday, which at the end of July with nothing to talk about might not be a bad idea.
I thought I was doing a solid for you because the other night, my girlfriend and I go out to dinner. We go to this great place called Jacob's Pickles on the Upper West Side. And
I'm not a pickle eater.
It's like, yeah, it's comfort food. It's great. It's all about just really like kind of Southern with a little bit of a New York flair. I got this meatloaf and the mashed potatoes. It was delicious. They do this amazing cornbread. They do great pickles and everything like that. It's just awesome. So she gets the mac and cheese. She thinks it's going to be a small mac and cheese. Ends up being a huge mac and cheese. It's a griddle. It's enormous.
A mammoth.
And she's pretty tiny. She eats like 3 bites of it. She's like, I can't eat this. Can you eat this? So I have a few pecks at it, and I'm like, I can't eat this.
Like a rooster, you had pecks at it?
Yeah, I bring it home. I had a full meal. I bring it home. I go, I cannot eat this. I go, you know what? I haven't seen Mraz in a while. Those guys always appreciate bringing in some food.
Always.
It was from a really good restaurant. It was high end. I said, I'm not just bringing in like McDonald's. So I said, let me give it to Mraz. And you're like, thanks. But what am I, the dog where you're just kicking scraps and I'm supposed to wag my tail because you come home?
That's what I feel like. I feel like, you're not around. I'm sitting there chasing my tail all day, and then here comes you in the door like, oh, here's food. Look where I was.
I'm trying to do a solid.
I absolutely appreciate it. And it was delicious. By the way, it took me multiple days and a second person to get through.
I can't believe that. I've never seen that happen.
And again, you're talking to a guy who could put down 4 Dunkin' Donuts. It was something about that mix of cheese. Every time I was eating it, like I was just like, all right, it's delicious, but I'm getting full here. Like I cannot put any more food in my stomach. I don't understand it.
It took you multiple nights and multiple people to finish it.
It's crazy. It's literally crazy. I'm a man with Thanksgiving could put down 4 plates with no problem. I don't know what was in there. A lot of cheese, a lot of clog.
A lot of cheese. Were you clogged up? Were the pipes clogged after that?
Pipes have been clogged. To be honest, which kind of courageous, not courageous, but crazy eating all this, macaroni and cheese and stuff.
Maybe courageous as well.
This is now Thursday we're taping this since last Sunday, and you've been out. I'm down like 5 pounds this week.
Is that right?
Yeah, I've been working on her. I don't know if it's the eating. I don't know if the cheese cleaned me out there, but something happened there. Now, it could be water weight or something. I don't know what's going on here.
Maybe you're sweating it out because it's getting hot.
That could be. That could be a lot of armpit, waste going. I don't see any in my stomach, but on the scale, the numbers are reading.
Well, look, I tried to do a solid, but I'm glad that you're down poundage. But I feel like now, what do I got to do? Now, even when I bring something in, if I'm out, it's just resentment all around.
It'll be resentment until September when I see you full time again.
So, Mraz, you also told me that you have to give a toast at your high school reunion?
Oh, yeah, the big 10-year is coming up this weekend, and I was asked by a couple people running the event if, hey, looking for some notable alumni, maybe you could give the toast.
Notable alumni?
Notable alumni.
How many people did you graduate with?
About 250.
250. So that was close to what I graduated with 208, I think it was. 208,
right.
208,
it might have been like 262, something like that. But yeah, I'm going to say 250.
East Babylon, West Babylon?
There is no East Babylon. It's West Babylon High School.
Or Babylon.
No, Babylon's a separate high school, but that is the
That's what I'm saying. That's the 2 high schools.
Yes, or North Babylon.
Oh, so there's a North, a West, and a regular.
Yeah, and we all meet at the same bars.
Okay. You meet in the middle of the same bar. So you're going to have to give the toast. This is coming up on Saturday?
Yes.
Are you ready?
No, I'm not, because it was actually asked me a couple days ago. I don't know what I'm going to say. Just, hey, good to see everybody. I got to come up with something.
Well,
I got to work on it. I don't know what I should say.
Who else is in this graduating class where you're the notable alumni?
Not a lot of people, man. And put it this way, it's so much so that I feel like I'm not even really going to read because I see everybody at the bar. I feel like everybody lives with their parents still. It's a pathetic class.
And you did, too, for a long time.
I did, but I moved out far, far away.
How long now have you moved out of the house?
We're going to be 2 years coming up this fall.
So you lived with your parents up until you were 8 years out of high school.
Right, and a lot of people still do.
Where do people in their basements?
I guess. I don't even... like.
Their bedroom? Their high school bedroom?
Must be. I'm telling you, I'm doing a lot of Facebook creeping. Nobody's a doctor. Nobody's a lawyer. You got a lot of cashiers, stuff like that. Not a good... Now you know where I'm getting, Magellan, Columbus, I mean, the whole thing.
Yeah, that is a little scary, actually.
So I don't know what we're going to do. I mean, this is a class that once had Geraldo Rivera graduate from, West Babylon High School. Prestigious people. Me? I'm giving the toast?
Geraldo is that prestigious, but at least he's famous.
Billy Koch used to close.
Billy Koch is from your high school?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
So this is really bizarre. 10 years out of high school, and most of your graduates live at home as cashiers?
Yeah, I mean, that's a generalization, but yeah, a lot of them do that kind of stuff. I know a lot have had like babies, and them and the babies live at home.
Oh, no, they're married and live at home?
Yeah, so, well, or
are they single moms?
Well, with both. Not married, have a kid, everybody's moved in under mom and dad's umbrella.
You got to be kidding.
There's a couple scenes like that. There are.
Oh, no, that's terrible.
It's a lot of that going on. It's a weird situation out there. But believe me, everybody will plop down that $45 for open bar on Saturday. You bet your bottom dollar.
You know, if you are 10 years out of high school, I don't think you're allowed to live with mom and dad anymore.
You know, I'm happy to say I don't. But I might have to also lie as I'm giving the toast and not tell everybody I live on the same block as my parents. I stayed around town, not on the same block.
Look, Mraz, you are like a pioneer compared to all these other schlubs that are actually living at home.
It's true. I would say if I had to venture a guess, I would say at least 150 to 250 people I graduated with live at home.
They can't find jobs or they work?
They all work. Do they do it? You know, I mean, nothing great.
I mean, the moment I came back from college, I was sending out tapes. I was trying to get a job. I lived at home from the time I got back. I graduated in May until I finally got a job in March. And I was home for whatever that is, 8 months. I wanted to blow my brains out. I needed to get out of the house. I could not live with my parents anymore. I needed to get out. 10 years later?
A lot of people probably do, want to basically get out of there. I guess they just can't. I'm going to get a lot of stories, though. I got to get to the bottom of this.
If you're 10 years out of school and if you're living with mom and dad, you don't want to move out. No way.
You think that's the case?
It's too easy to move out.
I mean, telling you, I'm looking at these Facebook pages a lot. I work at JCPenney. I do that. Nothing glamorous. What did we all go to college for?
Did you guys go to college?
I went to college. Took me 5.5 years to get my 4-year degree, and now I'm giving the toast.
Ay, ay, ay.
Yeah, so I can't wait to, when we're actually back together next week, I can't wait to let you know how that goes.
Oh, that's going to be that's Monday's show.
That's
Monday's show right there.
We'll have Jacob commentate the toast.
Who you got coming up?
We have Joe D making his appearance, and apparently he's told me he's not happy with you being absent, so we're going to discuss that.
Joltin' Joe D'Aloisio.
Joltin' Joe D'Aloisio.
He's getting a little high on the hog, let me tell you.
We're going to have to knock him down a couple pegs next week. Crack the whip a little bit.
He's starting to feel good because he's ripping me. He's ripping you.
As you said, DA, I'm going to warn him about this, too. There's been times where you've been off and you've come back and you used to do this to me and Kenny. Let him know who's boss. I'm going to crack the whip a little bit. I know what's coming. You don't have to. I bow to my master. Yeah. You better let him know what's coming.
Joe D's he's gonna feel the wrath coming up on Monday.
I want out. Let him feel the wrath.
Joe D feels the wrath. All right, Joe D and Mraz coming up right now.
All righty, welcome into Side B of the Permission Granted podcast. I'm the executive producer of the DA show, Sean Mraz. Joined for the first time in a couple weeks, the newbie on the DA show, Joe D'Aloisio. I'm never always going to get this wrong. D'Aloisio.
Perfect.
There we go. Joe, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I just passed gas.
I could tell you're squirming over there.
I'm squirming over there. And we're going to keep that edited in because it is a podcast. Why not? But yes, I'm sorry. We are in a locked room now, and just as we started, I went for takeoff there.
Good thing I didn't bring the gas mask in.
Right. Well, speaking of things that stink, how about, what's gone on with us here the past, week or so, and what feels like more, and I hope that our audience listening can feel for us. DA has gotten a great opportunity to fill in while Doug Gottlieb goes on his Summer of Love vacation, and DA has slid down, filling in the Doug Gottlieb show, but has left his cronies in the dust. Myself, you, the anchors, we're still sitting there at night, with other guys filling in. Last week we had JJ, we had Tony Luffman, we had Chris Moore, we'll have John Kincaid. We go down the list, and they're all solid at what they do, but it's just different because we're getting multiples of them. And it's the DA show within the DA show walls, but it's different because every host has their own thing. And it's kind of the point now where it's, can I get DA back here? I'm sure you feel the same way here. How you feeling? How you holding up?
You know what? I'm happy for DA. He has this great opportunity.
Right.
Take Doug's spot for now. But for us, I feel like I need to relearn the entire show. I'm new here.
Right.
I think I forgot how to do everything. All we're doing is really playing DA's rejoins and opens, and other than that, no sound check, no produced segments.
What's the other thing we do? 5-minute mothership? I'm already forgetting what else we have to do here.
Cold open? How about that? Did you forget about that one?
It's DA's cold open. We don't have any of that coming out right now, so it is different. It's extremely different. It is in the middle of summer, so I don't know necessarily what DA would do. But here, Joe, I'm going to give you a little lesson. I'm going to take the fans of the DA show behind the scenes here a little bit. I've been through this with DA before. DA has often gotten opportunities, well-deserved opportunities. DA is my man, well-deserved opportunities to move up, where I and the associate producer, whether it be Kenny Brock at the time, Moralia, James Ward back in March, you now, have been left working with the host filling in for him, who all do a solid job. But as I said, they're all different in their own way. When DA comes back and he's ready to go full throttle again, he often will look at me, look at somebody like you, and say, all right, I got to whip these boys into shape here. They haven't had me to show them who's boss again. I think we need to whip DA into shape when he gets back and show him who's boss again, right?
I think you're right. This is very cruel. I'm lost right now. Like I said, I'm going to have to relearn everything. I've pitched, 14 solid perfect games so far?
Yeah, and now it's not fair to you. It's not fair to you.
I feel like I may give up a few homers.
Maybe we need to, throw a couple homers, give up. Almost like the movie The Longest Yard, where the offensive line lets them sack Adam Sandler and show DA, hey, buddy, don't forget about us, bud. You need us, right?
And how about DA not coming in to visit with us after the show?
What a disgrace. So now for those who don't know, when DA fills in for Doug, he's long gotten used to when he leaves his studio and we're in that other room facing him as we prepare now to do the DA show without him. He will come in, kind of give us the daps, give us the, hey, what's going on, as he should, because we're his guys, we're his crew. On Monday of this week, DA is doing the first of the whole week with Jason Lockenfor. And Lockenfor does a great job for CBS Sports. Nice little plug there. Covering the NFL. And was something about JLC being there where DA kind of followed him out to the newsroom to kind of have their, JLC's a big dog, so let's go have the powwow with the big dog after. And totally stiffed us on a hey, you guys ready for the show? No, fist pump, nothing like that. Left us high and dry, and we didn't hear from DA again until 45 minutes later when he asked me to come in and put up his podcast, put up the full show podcast for you listeners to listen to.
It's as if he forgot about us.
What is that? So all of a sudden he gets involved with a bigwig like JLC, and he forgets about the hogs.
We're chump changed him.
Yeah, he came in today on Tuesday, as we tape this on Tuesday, and brought me some macaroni and cheese, homemade macaroni and cheese, which was delicious, very good. But it's almost like what am I, the dog waiting at the door for its owner to come home and he just, throw me a treat and I'll be okay until the next time you come home?
Now I'm even more insulted. I didn't get a treat.
You didn't get a treat. I sat there. I'm basically like Lassie sitting there by the door. Is that him? Is he home yet? Is he home? Ooh, I'm hungry. Is that home? Ooh, is Daddy home? Is Daddy home? Is Daddy home? And then all of a sudden Daddy comes home and guess what Daddy gets? Here's my doggy bag. Tear through it. Because a dog, now I'm going to love you forever because you gave me that. And I'll forget that I'm missing you for 3 days. Well, I got that doggy bag now, and I'm not falling for the tricks, DA. I am not falling for the tricks, and we need to get you back in the chair. Okay, and Doug, how many days off does Gottlieb need to take, too?
How many vacation days does he get? I'm pretty sure I get like 3 vacation days. That's what I've been
I don't know what's going on. Gottlieb, guy could basically circumvent the country or the world. Who did that? Fernando Magellan? Was that his name?
Maybe. Sounds about right.
I've had my thing with these explorers like Columbus and Ponce de Leon on the show, but I'm pretty sure Fernando Magellan, because I think the name of one of the first GPSs was Magellan. I think it was named after the great explorer who circumvented the world.
I believe you're right.
It's circumvented, right? I know it's not circumcised.
Look out.
It has to be circumvented, I would think.
I would hope. I'm not too sure.
Well, DA, just know, you don't got to whip us into shape, big guy. We're here. And listeners, don't worry. We stand together. Now, Joe, big release date you came out with. The tomato sauce release date, as we made fun of you for making you and your mom's sauce. You guys have a big sauce day planned, I hear?
We have a big sauce day planned. I believe it'll be August 18th and 19th. It has to be a 2-day process. A lot of sauce will be made. Of course, that'll be my weekend, even though it'll be in the middle of the week.
So did your mom plan it that way because you were off from work?
Oh, absolutely. You need the extra hands.
So it's just you and your mom? Do you have brothers and sisters?
I have an older brother.
Okay. How much older?
8 years older.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was a mistake.
Were you a mistake?
Of course. They won't admit it, but I know it. It's fine.
So they had their one golden boy, couple drinks one night at a bar, daddy, mommy come home. Next thing you know, 9 months later, we got the mistake known as Joe.
Absolutely.
The mistake by the lake.
Definitely happen.
But now Joe's a helping hand on the sauces.
Absolutely. They need me.
Your brother doesn't help with the sauces.
He does help. He'll take a day off from work to come help.
Are you kidding me?
Oh, this is a big process.
All right, so break it down for me here quickly. What exactly goes into the making of the sauces for 2 days?
So pretty much you got to order the tomatoes. Got to go pick them up at the store in the big cases. Big cases.
Okay, you can't just go to like a supermarket and get a bunch of tomatoes?
Absolutely not. I mean,
okay.
There's about 70, 80 tomatoes in a case.
Okay. They're tomatoes, by the way, not tomatoes.
Tomatoes.
Okay.
In the case. Open up the case, wash the tomatoes, make sure we don't get any rotten ones in the batch.
Okay. No mistakes, if you will.
No mistakes, if you will. So we wash them, boil them.
You boil a tomato.
You boil the tomato. Water. Just put them in.
Okay.
A little salt.
And what, that breaks them apart into like a sauce or a paste?
It makes the tomatoes mushy.
Okay.
So then you get the tomato and you put them through like this presser.
Okay, and that smashes them down?
And that smashes it down, and that's where you get the tomato sauce, and it like pours into a jar, like a big jar that we have.
You have like a machine that does this?
Oh, yeah, you need a machine.
You have like a separate tomato sauce room?
We actually use the basement or the driveway.
I picture you and your mother like Kramer and Newman making the sausages in Seinfeld. The music playing, dancing.
Well,
what are you going to do with all these sausages?
How about this? When we make the tomato sauce, I'll have a live Periscope on my Twitter.
Wow.
And you could
Twitter that DA just recently followed.
It only took him a month. It's about time. And you guys could all watch me do it. And if you want a jar of sauce, maybe we could work something out.
All right. And how many jars is it? You guys pretty much just make the jars for yourselves, or you send them to family and stuff?
We send it to family, some close friends. It all depends on how good the tomatoes are.
Okay. And you guys keep a lot for yourself that gets stocked up for a while?
Oh, yeah. I think this year we're aiming for anywhere between 200, 250 jars.
Oh, my goodness.
Now, these jars will last a year or so you don't have to use them that quick.
So you make like, so you guys make enough sauce that lasts you for the year?
Oh, yeah.
So you're sitting there watching a little Sunday football. Mom puts one of her jars on the stove, and away you go.
Away we go.
What can I do to get a hand on a jar here?
Oh, just ask. It's that simple.
I'd like to try. I would try.
Now, I'll tell you
Wife might get offended that I'm not eating her sauce, but I'd try.
I'll tell you what, though. What's different about our sauce is that
our sauce.
It's plain. There's no flavoring to it.
Is there a reason for that, or add your own flavor?
You add your own flavor. You want it a little spicier, you add the chili flakes. You want more salt, you add your own salt.
And you guys do the same depending on what kind of mood you're in.
Exactly.
Okay, well, that's making sauce with the Daloisios, and so you can check that out on Periscope. Joe, what Twitter handle can they follow you to follow your sauce making in August?
They could follow me at Joe D CBS. Nice and simple.
Okay, and you can follow me at Mraz CBS. I hope this was a very enlightening podcast today, as we covered everything from Doug Gottlieb's vacation time to DA leaving us high and dry, treating me like a dog, and Joe making sauces. So a really productive July Permission Granted podcast for you. Thank you guys so much. Have a good weekend, and as always, have a good weekend.